Welcome to Truth and Company Boxing Podcast for another segment of 20 Random Questions. I'm your host, John the Truth Dioria, and tonight's guest is Minnesota's own professional boxer, Corey Thompson. Hey, Corey, how's it going?
Hey, John, thank you for having me. It's going great.
So what's going on, man? I hear you're training pretty hard. Do we got anything in the works? Are we just training to stay ready in case something pops up this summer? What's going on?
Yeah, no, I'm always in training. I only have so many years left, and I'm constantly in training every day. I just take advantage of every moment I have. I was in camp for a while here, just training every single day, but I don't have anything scheduled as of right now. I'm trying to get on really soon.
Okay, well, that's good to hear for the Minnesota fans. I know there's probably going to be a lot of cards popping up this summer now that it's getting warm and stuff. So hopefully the Minnesota fans will get a chance to see you a couple times this summer or a few times before the end of the year anyways. But for some fans that might not know, they might know you as a pro boxer, but you're actually a gym owner as well, right?
Yeah. I own a Nordic Warrior Boxing Academy in Alexandria, Minnesota. I've been here for 5 years. So I owned the gym. I didn't start the gym originally at the time I thought I would retire from professional boxing. And then when I moved from the city to Alexandria, my kids started going to school. We started to have more and more kids. I didn't think I could keep pursuing boxing. I had so many fights fall through in a row. And so I just at a certain point, I had to start working to support. But I opened up the gym, and then, I realized that I had to come back and fulfill this dream. And so here I am.
So, I mean, you actually you're not full-time boxer though, right? You have an actual job outside of running the gym too, right?
Man, I actually got 2 jobs, a full-time job, a part-time job, and then I run the gym as a coach. And then I actually find at least 2 to 3 nights a week driving up to the cities to train with my trainer, Delico James, at work in Hopkins. So it's such a grind. And right now, to not have a fight scheduled, I'm chomping at the bit.
So now, do you have a lot of kids in there right now? Are you pretty full? I mean, if somebody wants to get their kid in there, is there a website or how do they contact you about bringing their kid in there?
Yeah, we do have a website. It's NordicWarriorBoxingAcademy.com. Especially, we want to grow our gym from the kids program. We haven't been competing as much as a team, and our kids class, we have an outstanding kids program, and we're trying to grow that for the competition side of things. The adult and the teenager side of things, man, we are like full. We just had practice tonight. We just got done. I mean, I think we had at least 24 bodies in there. And we're talking like real boxers, not people just coming in for fitness. Everybody's doing all the drills. Everybody's, they're competing. They're sparring. So, we want to build it from the kids.
Nice. Okay, so you ready for these 20 random questions?
Let's go.
All right. Question 1, how did you get involved in the sport of boxing?
When I was 12 years old, Chris Holt, he held the Minnesota State title for a long time too. Well, not a long time. He had it for a couple of years. But he introduced me to the sport. He met my mom. They were in a relationship for many years. They have a child named Cody, who's my sister. Me and her are really close. She's a boxer too. And Chris introduced me to the sport. Chris is he's a warrior, man. He comes forward, takes one to give one, real power, and that's where I learned that from.
Okay, so you've been around it since you were 12 then.
Yeah. Yep.
And for people that didn't know, how long has your sister been a boxer?
she's been boxing for competitively. She's only had she hasn't had a fight in a while. She's in college right now, but she's been boxing for, I would say, 7-8 years.
Okay, so it's in the family.
It is.
Do you now you mentioned you have some kids, right?
6 kids. Me and my wife have 6 kids.
Do you are any of them going to pursue amateur boxing, you think?
Right now, my son Jaden Thompson is an amateur boxer. He's a really good boxer too. He's 13 years old. My other kids, I think we have a lot of young kids, so they're not even old enough to box. But I think our younger kids are going to box for sure. And then I have my son Asher. He boxes too, but he is a little bit limited with what he can do for competition right now. He had an injury to his arm at birth, and so he's still going to fight though, and he wants to compete.
Nice. All right, question 2. What's the best advice you've ever got from another boxer, and who was it?
It's a good question. I would probably say Caleb Truax. And I'm trying to go over he spread a lot of knowledge to me. We were opponents back at the Upper Midwest way back when. And then when I came back to boxing, he's been a really good sparring partner for me. Caleb, he taught me to not cut any corners, which is his mantra. You can't neglect anything in boxing, and you can't get away with doing things because you're physically talented, like you're really fast. You have to have everything fundamental. And I think, I don't know if there's one thing that I can pinpoint, but probably something on that level. He's taught me a lot.
Okay. All right, question 3. What are the top 5 things, in your opinion, an amateur boxer needs to know when they decide to turn professional?
It's a different sport. This sport, professional boxing, is to hurt you. And it's not like amateur boxing. The punches really hurt because the gloves are way, way harder. And it's not even just that there's no headgear. The gloves are way harder. So you better be really serious about it. You better, because you're risking your mental health for the rest of your life. And amateur boxing is great. But there's only a certain number of people that should turn pro. And if you do, that's great. That's awesome. Pursue it with everything. But don't turn pro unless you're ready to accept the consequences.
Now, what about as far as not just like outside the ring, though, too? Because when you're an amateur, you don't need to worry about as much as having a team that you can. I mean, you still have to trust your team, but when you become a professional, you're dealing with finance stuff. You have to have a team around you that's solid, that you can trust. Looking for a manager, or even knowing how to get a manager, things like that, how to get on pro cards, because I know some guys that have turned pro that had no idea even how to get on a card.
Yeah, you know what? This sport is really ugly, and there's corruption in it, and we all know it. But for me personally, I got the greatest manager in the world, Nick Rogers. That man, he fights for me no matter what I need. If I need him to train me, he'll train me. If I need him to find sparring partners, he'll bring me there. He'll give me the fight that I need, and he'll fight for me. These other managers, they accept favors. They say, okay, I'll let you beat up my dude that's not ready for him. Oh, sorry about that. Hold on. Automatic light. I'll let you beat up on my guy if down the road you do a favor for me. And, Nick just does not roll like that. He's old school. And, he's fair. So, I mean, you do got to find somebody you trust, and not anybody that you don't know personally. You got to know them.
No, I agree with you. I think one of the most important things when you turn pro is to have a solid team around you and to be able to trust every person that you're working with in that team.
You think it's the most important?
I think it's one of the most important, because if you can't trust your team, because your team has to be able to do things for you. And when you're in that ring, I mean, they have to know how to take care of you. You have to trust that they're willing to throw that towel in and save your life.
I would say that's the second most important thing, to have a team. But the most important thing is you got to trust yourself,
Oh, exactly. Oh, absolutely.
you
Absolutely.
know, because you got to, you can't be broken, you know, and you can't have anyone rescue you. You can't, you got to rely on yourself when you're in that ring. And outside of that ring, everybody prepares you for what you're going to go in that ring. But in that ring, you got to rely on yourself.
All right. Question 4. If you could have a conversation with one person from history, who would you want to sit down and talk to?
Oh, hmm. Definitely be a boxer. Definitely be a boxer. And I would, could this be at any stage of their life?
Yeah, anybody.
Yeah. You know, I would like to talk to Mike Tyson, like when he was in a different mindset, when he was in killer mindset. I just would like to pick his brain. And I mean, I think that would be a really cool conversation.
Okay. Question 5. What's something that you're very passionate about besides boxing?
My family, my family, I mean, I don't do anything really outside of boxing. It's all I do. And I love it. And I love everything about it. But I mean, it's my family, you know, they're with me no matter what. And I'm with them. They rely on me. So it's my family. I was spending time with them.
Okay. Question 6. If you could have one superhero ability, what would it be?
Oh, I've always wanted to fly. I thought that'd be really cool. You know, you can go anywhere. I mean, I think flying would be really cool.
All right. Question 7. Who was the hardest puncher you've ever faced in the ring in a fight or sparring?
Ooh, it's a really good question. You know, I just went 12 rounds of sparring with Mike Richmond last night, and we sparred no headgear. And I would say, like, the punches he landed on me weren't the hardest I ever took because I could see him, but he's probably the hardest puncher I've ever seen. Just it's not explosive. It just gets right to the point, and it's really heavy. There's no telegraph to it. Um, I sparred a little bit with Terrence Crawford back when I was 16. That dude whips his shots, man. And he was smaller than me then, but his body shots, they're unreal. So that'd be another one.
Okay.
Chris Holt, he can crack.
Okay. Let's see. Question 8. What's your best boxing memory in your career to this point?
Oh man, I don't like to reflect. I'm not satisfied. I guess just maybe in the amateurs, winning the Upper Midwest. That was my final amateur bout, and I won the best boxer award at the Upper Midwest that fight. So that was probably the best.
Okay. Question 9. If you could win a trophy or an award in something other than boxing, what would it be?
Being a good father. I mean, that's something I take a lot of pride in being a good father.
Okay. Question 10. If you were to go to outer space, what 2 people would you take with you?
2 people, so I got to leave my kids. I would take my wife Alyssa and my son Jaden.
Okay. Question 11. If you could have any musical artist walk you out to the ring for a fight, who would you choose?
So there's a band I listen to now called Donheim, and they're not traditional music. They're more of that Nordic tribal music, and they got some pretty cool drums and stuff. I think that sound really cool. I've actually fantasized about that.
Okay. All right. Question 12. What animal best fits your personality?
Tiger. You know, not I'm not built like a lion that's super social. You know, I keep my distance a little bit more, and the people I do allow in my life are people I'm really close to. But I would say a tiger. I mean, I I feel like I can be ferocious. I feel like I can be protecting. So that'd be it.
Okay. All right. Question 13. If they invented a new sport, tag team boxing, what current Minnesota boxer would you choose as your tag team partner?
Oh man. I mean, I'd have to choose if I'm looking to win, David Morrell. I mean, hands down, that dude's a beast. I mean, if there's no weight classes, you know, maybe I'm taking Colton Warner with me. That boy is
Okay.
big and he can hit, you know?
All right. Question 14. If you had the opportunity to spar one world champion, who would you choose right now?
Ooh. You know, I like to spar Benavidez and Canelo. I mean, both of them. I think that would give me a good indication of what I need to do to get to that level.
Okay. All right. Question 15. Are you artistic in any way with your hands besides boxing, as far as like building things, painting, drawing, photography, mechanics, anything like that?
No, I'm very untalented. No, just joking. I'm really good at massage. I seem to understand it. I see, you know, I can feel a lot on somebody just by massage, and I feel like I can heal really well through that.
Okay. So are you like going to pursue that at all, educational wise?
I thought about it. I thought about doing it actually to help my boxing, to keep my hands strong. And I mean, I spent a lot of time massaging my wife. She works really hard, you know, and taking care of all of our kids. And we have a daycare at home too. So she's busy.
Okay. All right. Question 16. If you could box in a celebrity boxing match versus any actor or athlete, who would you want to fight?
Probably Jake Paul, because I don't know if he's a real fighter.
Okay.
I mean, I would really fight him, you know. I don't know if there's stuff going on in some of the contracts. Obviously with Mike Tyson, who knows if it's a real fight.
Who knows if any of them have been real fights?
But I'd like to fight him.
Okay. Question 17. Have you ever had to save someone's life?
Both my son Asher and my son Jaden, they had seizures that you know, they stopped breathing for a little bit. But I was able to stay calm, resuscitate them, and they would have come to. I don't know if I saved their life, but we did call the ambulance. So other than that, no, I have not.
Okay. Question 18. Do you enjoy amusement parks?
I love them. Yep. No, I haven't been in a long time, but I do love them.
Okay. Question 19. If you could have a conversation with any animal and it could talk back, what animal would you want to have a conversation with?
Sorry about that again. That would definitely probably be, you know, maybe an eagle or an owl, you know, because eagle sees a lot, right? And maybe they just have a different perspective, and owls are supposed to be wise.
Okay. All right. Question 20. What is something that your boxing fans don't know about you?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know who my fans are other than the people that I know. You know, I don't view myself that way as having fans. I'm a hardworking guy. I have a big family, and I'm trying to provide food for the table for them with my fists. And there's not a lot of people that can do that But anybody that pursues it can, and that's just what I'm doing.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking time to come on and do the 20 random questions. If you got any shout outs to sponsors or you want to say anything to the fans, go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. I got to shout out my wife, my wife, Alyssa. She supports me in doing this. And a lot of wives, they would not support their husbands doing this, man. This is a risk, and she understands that, but she wants me to go for my dream. There's a lot of things I can do to make a living. She lets me do this. And then my manager, Nick Rogers, that man, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do this like I am right now if it wasn't for him. And I see the path to like the top level and going through with him. And then I don't know if I can give her a title, but I guess my good friend Kirsten Wessel, and she's an amazing person. She started boxing with us 5 years ago at the age of 53. She wasn't looking to compete. She wasn't looking to box anything other than, getting in shape. And she ended up loving it. And now she does compete. And she actually helps me run the whole gym so I can actually train. She runs all of the fitness classes. I mean, she trains, over 20 people at times, or up to 20 people. And she really keeps it going for me, and she supports me with my kids too, and driving them and transporting them. And Kirsten Wessel, shout out to her.
All right, you want to say anything to your fans?
Stay tuned. I'm coming in the ring soon.
So now, is there any social media pages that your fans can keep up to date if you got fights going on or what's going on with you?
I mean, I just have my Facebook, Corey Thompson, that's my Facebook. I'm going to announce something really soon, hopefully by tomorrow, of when I'm fighting next and very soon. So just be on the lookout for that.
All right. Hold on. And with that, the truth has spoken.